Hi, how we doing, guys and gals? It's your boy TCG, and today we are back with a deck breakdown, analysis, run through, Thingamadoozler. I managed to play Team Rocket's Mewtwo as soon as the glare stopped. There you go. Team Rocket's Mewtwo to first place in the last Pokemon Challenge in MV Collectibles. I don't know for those watching on the outside, this is in the Latin America region in Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, I'ma just get into it and start breaking it down for you. So we have here to start obviously the Team Rocket's mat, very nostalgic, very vintage, along with the Team Rocket sleeves. You know, you had to fake out the opponent, next thing you see they say, "Hey, you playing Team Rockets?" But then you're not. But I actually am. So, nice little mind game before the game even starts. But starting off with two Mewtwo's. This is my choice. Most people play one to two depending, but I like two. Feels a little more comfortable. The main man in the whole deck, the Spidops, along with the boys Tarountulas, 4/4 mandatory, very good in a variety of matchups. Mewtwo able to deal with Dragapult and Clefairy on board with just no discards of energy, and also the Spiders being able to deal with grassy Pokemon like Garchomp and Absol, stuff like that. Then we have two Mimikyu, because normally this is standard in most decks, you have that at least one Mimikyu. I run in two because the Dragapult matchup is abundant, and two Articuno because Alakazam will never win, and Dragapult will have a hard time winning, basically. And my tech inclusions, primarily the Team Rocket's Kangaskhan and the Lillie's Clefairy. The Team Rocket's Kangaskhan is primarily for Cornerstone because all of my Pokemon have abilities, so they insta-lose to Cornerstone if I don't play properly, if my opponent plays well. So the Kangaskhan is to ensure that that's never a possibility. I would always be able to win that match regardless. Or if they think, alright, well, I'll just sit on Cornerstone on the board alone and you wouldn't be able to play the game, I will be able to play the game because I have Team Rocket's Kangaskhan. Now, this is my inclusion because I just don't like to lose to, how to say, foolishness. So like Crystal, Cornerstone, Wall decks, things of that nature. I hate to lose it because, I don't know, I just find it cornbreadish to lose it, you know what I'm saying? So I would always have a tech in every single deck I play to counter whatever particular prominent or whatever thing I believe to be a threat. So Cornerstone is a huge threat to this deck, but not Crystal, so I don't really tech for Crystal, I tech for Cornerstone. In other decks I play, I would always have a tech for Crystal because I just despise that Pokemon, and I would always have a way to beat that Pokemon because I don't believe in allowing that deck to win. You understand what I'm saying? Not like how Raul comes second place, lost to the Zam. Like the first and second, like Alakazam, Crystal, Dragapult, the rest of the cards. But yeah, those two decks have a good matchup with the Dragapult. Not so much Zam, but Zam can do it. But yeah, and into the supporters now. For Ariana, most people have 3 because they want to make space for Lillie, which is all well and good. That's fine. Well, Lillie's determination. For Proton, because being insecure is not something I like to be a part of. So I like to make sure that I'm always secure with my 4 Protons. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Counter that. But yeah, primarily the 4 Protons is to ensure that you find it every turn on the turn every time, because not finding it is pretty rare. I ain't gonna lie to you. And thankfully with the 4 Proton along with the 4 Transceivers that I have in the deck, I was able to every single game find Proton, which to me is a ginormous win. Going into the Gust, which is True Giovanni. True Giovanni, pretty good. Prevents clutch behavior and stuff like that. Overall good. And I went down to 2 Lillie's determination, primarily because I wanted to prioritize having extra draw with Ariana and with the Proton. If I have a Lillie in the starting hand, sure, no problem. But primarily I always want one of these 2 supporters in the starting hand. Yeah, one of these 2 supporters in the starting hand to guarantee a good start 90% of the time. Because funny enough, I lost all the dice rolls except the last one, the last match one, and I was able to get Proton in all the starting hands, and I was able to still have a decent start even though going second, because primarily with this deck you always want to go first, because with the Proton you're able to set up and to get yourself going by turn 2 if all goes right. But in the event that you're unable to, taking a turn to set up, being behind, especially with this deck, is not ideal. You know, you kind of always want to be ahead of the curve, because there's a win more deck, as they say. You know, basically if you're ahead, you're doing good, it allows you to keep doing good. It has things that would allow you to keep, you know, performing well, keep doing what you need to do to win the game a bit quicker, you know. So we have one Petrel and one Archer. The Petrel is just one of inclusion, because you never know what you need. Maybe you might need to find an E-switch, maybe you might want to find your Max Belt, which is the E-spec I have for this deck. And the Archer, I had it at 2 and 3 Proton, but I take out the 1 and I put the 4 Proton, because I was like, bruh, if I start with Archer in hand, I'm sad. I'm a sad guy, because Archer is a great card for hand disruption, but not so much a good card for starting the game, you know. So kind of bring it down to 1. You just have to be more critical with when you want to use your hand disruption, because you have, if you have a 2 prize and then you're going to a single prize board, you have 4 more prizes for your opponent to take. Now they could be stuck in their hand ever since then, they could be doing whatever, but it depends on when you decide to Archer. That is when it will be the most critical and the most detrimental to your opponent. Even though that shit for draw 3, like a weaker unfair stamp, is still a great card in the sense that hand disruption is amazing in this format, because there is none really. You know, you can't really call Lucian and Harlequin hand disruption and without using the entire A-spec for hand disruption, then, you know. And bear in mind, a lot of times I was unfair stamped and I was able to draw into Ariana or Transceiver. Well, I ain't put only Transceivers yet, but I was able to draw into Ariana or Transceiver or Lillie every single time, because yeah, it's just pretty good. It's just pretty good. And going into the items, we have 4 Transceivers, walkie-talkie del equipo rocket, that is the Espanol. Put it up closer so you can see. Yeah, walkie-talkie del equipo rocket, nice. And all of them is English, you know, a little bit of niceness. We have 4 Ultra Balls. 4 Ultra Balls mandatory. Well, they're not mandatory, but it's really necessary, because in order for your Spidops to work, to use the charge up ability to get energy from the discard onto the board, you need to discard it. And this deck doesn't have a ton of ways to discard, seeing as Earthen Vessel has rotated. Because that used to be the go-to way to find energy. You discard energy, you find 2 energy, you Ultra Ball the energy. So you have 3 energy to discard, where your Spiders could load up, charge up, and your Mewtwo could operate to suit, you know. So this is now your main form of discard until Chaos Rising, where you decide to play Prism Tower, probably play 1 of Prism Tower in it. That would allow you to have an additional way to discard cards. But for Ultra Ball, to me, mandatory. 2 Bug Catching Set, primarily because you don't have Earthen Vessel, and the majority of energy in the deck is grass. So, and your main guys, your Spiders, is grass. So Bug Catching Set is a nice inclusion. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it whiffed a good bit at times, but it also helped me get at least 1 energy, which was kinda useful at the moment. Now, we don't have a better replacement for it right now, but it is what it is, and we'll make it work. Going into the recovery, we have 2 Night Stretcher. I mean, mandatory in every deck, you need that Night Stretcher, you need that recovery. 1 energy switch, just a cheeky 1 of energy switch to help ensure that, you know, let me say you load up a little too much energy on one boy, or you need to get your Mewtwo charged up in 1 turn by attaching your Rocket's energy along with E-switching 1 of your Spiders' charge up ability. That would be beneficial. And then we have for the tools, Max Belt and Brave Bangle. The Brave Bangle primarily just to hit those better numbers, aka 210, to deal with the 210 support mons like Versatility, Latias, Petrel, Meowth in range. So yeah, to be able to deal with those mons. And for stadiums, we have 3 Team Rockets Factory, which could potentially go down to 2, and you add a Prism Tower in there to help with discards, because drawing is nice, but being able to discard when your hand a little too clogged does actually be very beneficial in the long run. Going into the energies now, we have 4 Rockets energy, mandatory in the deck, and then we have 4 and 2 6 grass energy along with 1 psychic, just a cheeky 1 psychic for Mimikyu, because Mimikyu attacks using a psychic and a colorless, or for the Clefairy to be able to attack using a psychic and a colorless as well. So this is the 60 card list that I used to go 401. The first matchup that I played was against Alakazam, but the Alakazam teched in Chandelure, and I'm not sure if you know what Chandelure does. Basically it allows, I'll try and look for the card, I know I had it somewhere but I can't remember where it is. Yeah, so basically it allows you to attack for the amount of cards in your opponent's hand, and it is not damage counters, it's damage. So Articuno isn't as strong there, but his main attacker still wants to be Alakazam, because most of the cards in his deck would benefit Alakazam. So he would have stuff to benefit the Chandelure, but that's not the main guy. So being able to deal with the Chandelure might be a bit easier. But he managed to push it really well. He played really good, but managed to come out on top in the end. Because he, like, every time, like game 1 I won, game 2 he came back and won, I believe, and then game 3 I was just spawn camping the Chandelures with the spiders, because like Giovanni kill, and he would knock back out the spiders, but then I would just go into the Mewtwo, and the Mewtwo would be able to knock out the Chandelures, or knock out the Litwicks, and then the Articuno would protect me from the Alakazam, so he wouldn't have any playback now. It's kind of like, okay, well, my bad, you know. The second round was against Dragapult, I believe. Yeah, Dragapult. He was playing Dragapult Blaziken. It ended up going to a draw. The first game was pretty good in my favor. Rinse, repeat, wash down kind of thing. The second game though, he played really well. He got early setup. He was able to do item block, and then he got early setup where he played double Blaziken, no Dragapult, just double Blaziken, and it worked out in his favor because he was able to keep cycling those 2 months, and because I was item lock at the time, I wasn't able to set up a proper board, so I was just kind of like on the back foot right through. So it ended up going to time because the third game started like with 2 minutes on the clock, so it isn't possible for that to come to a resolution at that point. So that was the second one. The third match, I believe, was against Garchomp. And Garchomp, yeah, that's free eats along with the Brave Bangle, and the Max Belt was able to one-shot the Garchomp with the Charm. It does with the Brace. It doesn't really matter. That matchup is pretty rough if you have a reasonable startup. Yeah, but it's still managed to go on game 3 because game 1 I beaten. Game 2 he come back and win, and game 3 then end up rinsing with the Max Belt Spider because he wasn't able to get one established like Giovanni spawn camping, because I believe he priced 2 of the Gibbles. So as soon as I knocked out 1, he was able to get into a Garchomp, but it didn't last because the brace wasn't enough, because I just went for Petrel Max Belt into knockout, and he was kind of on the back foot from since then. Also the fourth match was I can't remember, you know, I'm blanking on one of the matches. I know the last match was against Dragapult. It was like I won the first game. The second game was drawn out. I should have scooped earlier to get a better hand, but my opponent was like, you would have won if we had more turns. So instead of like taking a draw, he gave me the win, and I was able to, you know, have the victory to outright win the whole tournament there with that one. But yeah, closing thoughts. I can't remember the fourth match. I can't remember. Somebody I play. I genuinely can't remember. But yeah, so in closing thoughts, the Mewtwo Spidops deck is pretty great, in my opinion. It's very good. The real issue is when you brick and slight inconsistencies, because you don't have anything guaranteed. Like to find your energy, if you don't find it early, there's problems, because you have no way to search this, your rocket's energy. You have no way to search this consistently, because you have this Bug Catching Set, and that's only top 7 if you're with hard luck, you know. You also have the inconsistency of not getting Proton turn 1 or having a good supporter. Yes, you have 8 ways to find Proton. If you're playing 4, now most people play 3, but again, I like to make sure that I start at every single turn, and it showed dividends because every single match for the tournament I started Proton. Or a way to find Proton with the receiver or with Proton itself, which to me, that is a huge, massive win. And I believe it's because of that level of consistency is what allowed me to end up winning it out, or to doing good in each match coming up to this point to end up, you know, taking it in the end. I believe this is so vital. Now, people would cut and say, nah, you don't have to. This to me more important than everything else, because getting Pokemon on board, you can actually play the game. Because a lot of times you would start one Tarountula, one Mimikyu, one Articuno, probably one Mewtwo, you'll start one of them and you wouldn't have any way to find anything else, because a lot of the cards in the deck is not Pokemon search outside of these 6 cards here, right? Well, item card search. These 6 cards, which is the Ultra Ball and the Bug Catching Set. But then the Protons gives you the, let me say, pseudo-trolley operation of being able to go first, find a Pokemon, set up, and then on turn 2, you have access to either Transceiver for Ariana, or you're probably drawing to Lillie, or you have the Petrel that you could go to get Ultra Ball to discard some energy to get your spiders on board, or you know, something along the lines, just to get the engine going basically, because the deck, the engine itself, the Rocket Supporter engine is amazing, it's pretty great, one of a kind, it's pretty good and you could maximize on it, but it's, again, hella inconsistent if you don't find your pieces early o'clock. You could brick real hard, but thankfully I didn't brick any games where it mattered, because it was best of 3. I believe that gave me the opportunity to actually win out, because it had first games that I didn't win and I ended up having to come back 2 games. So it's good that, yeah, well, probably was before match that, yeah, I ended up losing first one and then having to come back these next 2 games. So yeah, again, engine pretty good, deck itself good into the meta right now, because you have a single price way that you could go with only having the spiders attacking. You could not bench any 2 prizes, or you could go the hyper aggressive where you bench Mewtwo, you get energy attach, your energy switch, you get things going one time, or you go the Kangaskhan with the Comet Punch. So if you go second, because normally when they see Team Rocket they want to push you to go second, because you know that's your weaker turn, you know. But Kangaskhan, let me see if I can pick it up here for you. Special, yeah. Okay, so Kangaskhan has Comet Punch. For 1 energy, you flip 4 coins for each head you do 30 damage. So you have a maximum of 120 damage, and then in the event that your opponent wasn't able to set up this up properly, you still set it up while you allow this Kangaskhan to use Wicked Impact, because every time you use a Rocket Supporter from hand during your turn, this attack does 100 more damage. So it does 228 for 3 energy, same amount as the Mewtwo. But the difference is that this does not need 4 Rockets Pokemon in play to attack. You know what I'm saying? So that is a significant difference to me. That's why I know sure is just a cornerstone tech, but when I start this and I see Abadu in front of me, I try and attach, swing on him, because he have 30 HP. I'm bound to flip 1 hit unless I flip all tails. I ain't gonna lie, that sometimes when I flip like 3 tails, 1 hit, I was like, brother, help me out here. But again, that's the luck of the draw, that's the luck of the game. So with this information here, I mean, I hope you guys, if you could try the list. I'll probably put the list in the description in the video, so you could try it and see if you like it, or you don't like it. You could probably change, adjust. You could probably reduce the Mimikyus. You could put Wobbuffet. You could take out the Max Belt. You could put Hero's Cape. You know, you can play around with the deck, because it's a very versatile deck. Even though it constrains to the Rocket Engine is still very good. So yeah, take your time, play around with it, see if you like it, see if you like it, see if you don't like it, and yeah, that's it. Tuning in. Hope you guys like the video, and until next time, keep training, keep well, bye bye.